Hello and welcome to Footy V1. I'm a football lover and I never stop talking about it, so here I am talking to you guys now. Today it's Premier League review. Here we will be discussing every bite of football in the last Premier League fixtures. So if you are a football lover, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video for more content. This year's Premier League is on fire. Teams got stronger with new signings coming in and teams are really trying to prove their qualities on these first fixtures. City, Spurs, Liverpool, West Ham and Arsenal had all a great start of the season, while Chelsea and Manchester United are still struggling to catch up. Let's go through it. When it was over, the beaten players of Luton Town lingered for a few minutes, marched around the pitch and made sure to thank the crowd for their magnificent support. The home fans had done everything to make Kenilworth Road's first taste of the Premier League an occasion to remember, keeping the volume high from start to finish, and it would have been quite something if Carlton Morris had taken a late chance to equalize moments before Kurt Zuma scored the goal that carried West Ham back to the top of the table. Unfortunately for Luton, their big night would end with another lesson about the harsh reality of life at the highest level. West Ham punched through with fleeting moments of quality, Jared Bowen putting them ahead after meeting a lovely cross from Lucas Paqueta shortly before halftime. The game ended 2-1 for the Hammers, who seems that they got a solid team this year with the new signings, Kudus, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse stepping in. Let's watch and see how far they can go. Sheffield United and Everton, holders of absolutely nothing after their opening 3 Premier League games, have something to show for their efforts. Over an adrenaline-filled lunchtime, both led Everton first through Abdoulaye Doucouré and then the home side via an unfortunate Jordan Pickford own goal. Both equalized, Cameron Archer first for the hosts, Arnaud Danjuma later for the visitors. Both earned their first points of the season. Positive points? Yes, in the main from each side's debutant centre forwards. For Everton, Beto at 26 million acquisition from Udinese. For Sheffield United, Archer, an 18 million buy from Aston Villa. Relatively, both clubs find themselves shopping in the basics range, but there is still a level of expectation that money will be spent wisely. Early signs point to customer satisfaction. Belief and resilience are traits Brentford have always displayed when faced with adversity, and it was no surprise to see them here as Brian's Mbumo's equalizer in the 3rd minute of added time gave them a point, persevering their unbeaten Premier League record. It appeared Bournemouth would steal victory despite a dominant second half performance from the hosts, and the equalizer was a huge blow for Andoni Iraolo's side. Manchester City entered the international break with a maximum 12 points. Through this 4th win of the season was hardly the champions at their smoothest, despite Erling Haaland scoring his 5th Premier League hat-trick, and he turned on a second goal that restored their lead and left Fulham furious. In Calvin Phillips, Bernardo Silva, Sergio Gomez and Josko Gvardiol and Matheus Nunes, the last 2 signed this summer, the triple winners had 226 million of talent spread across 5 substitutes. Yet their on-field colleagues grasped for control and rhythm on a day when another fresh acquisition, Jeremy Doku, made his debut. If only there was an accountancy trick that could mask Chelsea's awful numbers in front of goal. Unfortunately for Todd Boehly and Clark Capital, there is no way to amortize a home defeat to a ruthless Nottingham Forest, as Mauricio Pochettino heard the home fans greet the final whistle with fierce boos. It was strange to think that 1 billion has gone into a building a side so lacking in leadership and ways to respond against opponents intent on frustrating them at Stamford Bridge. The problems I think confronting Pochettino are nothing new, given that Chelsea have earned 11 home wins in all competitions since the start of last season. Yes, this is a team bereft of edge in the final third, a team of young players who look unsure of themselves in tricky situations, and nobody who has been paying close attention to recent events here could say that they were particularly surprised when Forest pounced on one defensive slip and stole the points thanks to Anthony Zelanga's clinical finish at the start of the second half. Back to Burnley vs Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham supporters celebrating James Maddison's role in dismantling Burnley, although he was about to be upstaged by Son Heung-min's hat-trick. For a number of years, Tottenham have been reliant on the man with no number 10 on his back to pull them through, but Maddison is a different beast. He has the sort of swagger and skill to entertain his own fans while infuriating opponents with a theatrical demeanor. All of this was on show as Spurs continued their unbeaten league start under Ange Postecoglou. Both managers are in their debut of their Premier League managerial careers, but the Australian seems to have the perfect blueprints, while his Belgian counterpart will be looking at turning things around after securing no points and conceding 11 goals in those 3 matches. Everything in the end came down to the moment 20 minutes in the second half when Evan Ferguson received Billy Gilmour's pass 30 yards from goal, caressed his shot into the bottom corner. It was a goal of stunning quality, his brilliant finish, the centerpiece of the first of what will surely be many Premier League hat-tricks. But there was another element to the goal, which was how much space he was in. Ferguson, though, might be the most exciting element of his team, not just for the goals, but the performance overall. He can become very big. He can become the top scorer in Europe, I think. Odsonne Edouard with his second goal proved the difference as Crystal Palace won 3-2 against Wolverhampton. Wolves are not alone in losing talent. Palace's decisive goal scorer in last season's fixtures, Wilfried Zaha, has departed for Galatasaray, and Michael Olise, still at the club, was missing through injury. It left creativity in the highly capable hands of Eze, assisted by the contributions of the reliable, underrated and always energetic Jeffrey Schlupp. Szoboszlai and Salah fire Liverpool to dominant win against Aston Villa. Unai Emery's visitors arrived at Anfield in confident form, but were comfortably eclipsed by a tireless Liverpool performance in which Klopp's players shone on and off the ball. Dominic Szoboszlai opened the scoring inside 3 minutes and Villa never threatened to respond. An own goal from Matty Cash plus a tap-in from Salah maintained Liverpool's stylish and unbeaten start of the new campaign. The Egypt international, subject of a rejected 150 million bid from Al Ittihad and continued interest from the Saudi Pro League, was involved in all 3 goals. It could easily have been 5. There was no sign of Salah being distracted by speculation around his future as he got on with the job of winning. Declan Rice's late strike earns Arsenal dramatic Manchester United victory. Every United fan knew their team could conceivably have arrived at the Emirates Stadium with 0 points instead of a 6. Results having greatly outstripped performance, they badly needed something more cohesive, an answer to the questions that seem to be everywhere. And that is before we get to the ongoing razor drain, the sapping torment of the owner's tenure. They were better in the second half, but it was not enough. Injuries have beaten. Rafael Varane, Luke Shaw, Tyrell Malacia and Mason Mount are out, and there was yet another problem for Ten Hag when Lisandro Martinez was forced off after hurting himself when making a yellow card tackle on Edin Nketiah in the 66th minute. Scott McTominay did not travel because of illness. Ten Hag entrusted the 72 signing Rasmus Hojlund, and he had a couple of promising moments on his debut. Despite the joy in the closing stage, this was some turnaround, some way for Arsenal to ignite their season, and some way for Manchester United's away day misery to continue. As the Emirates Stadium beloved the name of their team, United Spain knew no bounds. That's all for today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. See you later.